Hey everybody, Frugal Farmer here. This is an old memory about a dog. Just a couple of us even remember that dog named Fremont. I mentioned Fremont in an earlier video, and where that name came from, I don't know. I know there was a Fremont that was Explorer, but old Bud looks a lot like Fremont with his kind of crazy looking ears and a lot of his coloration. He just puts me in mind of Fremont. Well, Fremont, yeah, he was the first dog I ever remember. Well, Fremont would be at our house for a little while, then he'd disappear. And this is all before, the big get your pet spayed or neutered deal. I don't know anybody that had a fixed dog back then. And he'd disappear for sometimes a month, 2 months. We'd think he'd be gone. We'd get another dog. He'd roll up about a week later, but Fremont and chase that dog off. He'd stay around and get fattened up. He's a good dog. He liked family, and if you weren't out there with him, he weren't friendly towards people. You had to let him know that, they were all right. Well, my dad was a vice president of a bank, and he farmed too. Well, a lot of times he'd have people out for dinner that, were important people. Well, this is back when men wore fedoras. And they were sitting on the porch talking, smoking, probably drinking, I imagine. Well, the man forgot his fedora and ate dinner. Come out and he couldn't find his fedora. Well, finally found his fedora, and Fremont had chewed it up. The guy was a good sport about it. He laughed. He said, well, that was my fault for leaving it there. And from then on, if anybody was wearing a hat, then they were told, to make sure they kept it with them, or one of my folks would grab it and bring it inside. And of course, men quit wearing hats after John F. Kennedy because nobody wore hats, but I always liked those old hats. Well, Fremont, this went on for years and years, and he'd come in and leave. Well, one day my daddy saw Fremont about 10 or 15 miles from the house, and he tried to get him in the truck. Well, evidently, they were chasing one particular dog, and I didn't know anything about anything. And my dad said, well, you can't blame him. And I thought, well, why wouldn't he want to come home where he could eat and, see me? And but he was, had stars in his eyes. And but finally, it went by about a year, and we figured, well, Fremont ain't coming back. So we finally got another dog, and I can't remember the dog we got after Fremont, but we got the German Shepherd Greek that I spoke of, and then I got Skipper as my dog. Both those were Shepherds. But thanks for stopping by. Come back again when you will. Share, comment, like, hit that subscribe button. God bless.